and welcome to another episode of the Not For Nothing podcast.
Welcome.
Okay, today I wanted to start off with an important question I've been asking myself and asking others around me.
Mm-hmm.
As Taylor Swift has really taken over the media these days.
The Eras Tour is finally over. I have a feeling we'll still be getting ads for books.
Yeah, I'm still seeing a lot of content about her.
Yeah.
But do we think that her mega fans are the new Disney adults? Or do we think it's like a Venn diagram of overlap?
It's a Venn diagram, but it's almost like it's not a traditional Venn where it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
It's almost like
skewed.
It's almost complete. It's crescenting. There's a crescent.
There's like a
people.
Small outliers of not Disney adult Taylor Swifties.
Exactly. Well, I was thinking the other way around.
Oh,
there's a crescent of Disney adults.
On both ends.
Yes.
And then, so it's just a diagram of two, rather. Yeah, so.
No, it's a Venn diagram. It's just the circles are very close. They're
very
like
close, yeah. And so there's a small minority of Disney adults who don't like Taylor Swift, and a small minority of Taylor Swift people
that are not
Disney adults, but a majority are lovers of both.
Exactly.
And why do we think that is?
I think there's an air of like childishness that comes to being a Taylor Swift fan.
Agreed.
Like, I think like being a Swiftie is almost like kind of Peter Pan-ish in a way.
Okay, yeah.
You're like nostalgic about like your first high school boyfriend.
Yeah.
Rather than like thinking, I mean, maybe this is because I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I don't know her like new work. I don't really know.
Is there? Yeah.
I don't even know what she did for Eras Tour. Tortured Poet.
Oh, I guess, yeah, there was new music.
Like, I haven't listened to her ever.
Yeah.
Like, I've only heard her against my will, like in Rite Aid or like wherever I am.
Everywhere you go.
Anywhere, literally. But, like, yeah, can't really explain. I feel like she's just very nostalgic from what I know. And I feel like her music is a little bit like whiny.
Yeah.
It's kind of not in the sound of it, not in her voice, because I don't think that's whiny. I think her conversation topics are more relatable to like a preteen than they are to like a 31-year-old adult woman.
I also think there's the financial aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, both groups are willing to spend a fuck ton of money.
That's a good comparison.
Like very fleeting,
yep,
I guess experiences, but like specific types of experiences.
Yep.
Because it is like crazy to see. I'm really proud of her as an artist. Like, it's so incredible to see a woman like generating so much money from concerts. Like, that's fucking nuts. Like, she has literally had such a strong impact on the economy of this country.
Yeah, she has.
So that is undeniable. And this is in no way a criticism of her as an artist.
Not at all. Not for me doesn't mean shouldn't exist.
No, I'm like, you are very talented at what you do. Like, there's no denying that. But it is crazy how people are willing to spend so much money on a concert. And not just like the actual concert. I was following this one girl who I didn't like follow, like I was watching her videos, where she set up like a week of activations. Did you see this?
No.
It was like a whole week of like pre-Taylor Swift and like Taylor Swift concert activities in New Orleans, like leading up to the concert. And so people could like stay there and like
enjoy their time doing Taylor Swift themed things.
Yeah, but it also like, it was really hard to get like hotels, right, during the concert. So you could like stay in a hotel with other people who are also going to the concert.
Got it.
Kind of creating a community vibe.
Yeah.
Like Club Med concert situation.
Right.
But it was a total Fire Festival flop, and like, because this woman is not an event producer and like was just like obsessed with
organizing,
and she just wanted like friends to go to Taylor Swift with,
right?
And so like it did not end well at all. But it really is just like people are traveling throughout the whole country to go to these concerts, and internationally.
Didn't you tell me there was some girl who realized that she couldn't get into Canada? Or I saw a meme.
There were so many people who got tickets to the Vancouver show.
They're like, whoops, I have a DUI. I can't get into Canada. That's so hilarious.
It's so crazy because the tickets were cheaper in Canada.
Unreal.
It's unreal. But it's the same with Disneyland. Like, you see all these Disney adults. Like, it's an obscene amount of money. And
it is.
You guys already know our opinions on the Disney adults, but
Can I also ask something?
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were kids how you'd ask someone like, hey, what kind of music are you into? Which basically was to find out if they liked pop, rap, or rock.
So true.
And there'd be the other group of people that'd be like, I listen to anything but country.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Country is not villainized anymore.
And also, it used to be that you couldn't call yourself a real fan if you didn't know X amount of songs on an album.
Right.
But now albums aren't don't have the same significance anymore.
Yeah, people don't listen to a body of work anymore.
So you can be a fan.
Yeah.
Anyone can be a fan now.
But it's also dude, not only is I don't know, country listened to, but most people listen to country now.
Yeah.
I would say country is competing with pop for radio slots.
I mean, if we want to take it there, I think it's pretty illustrative of the state of the politics of this country as well.
It's true.
We're shifting conservative, and country music definitely has a more conservative base and undertone. Even the history of country.
Yeah.
Very different than the history of rap.
Very true. Very true.
Or of pop. Or
because I'm
rock.
People are oh, I'm going to the Morgan Wallen concert.
Yeah, but
I'm who the fuck is that?
And he just got
and I thought it was a woman. I really swear to God, I thought it was a woman.
He's also in deep legal troubles and
drinking.
Yeah, he
I think I heard about that.
Chairs at somebody and yeah.
And then you have Brianna Chicken Fries X.
Yeah,
also
Zach Bryan also could have called that from he just. Alyssa and I were talking about this. I'm he just exemplifies every cokehead alcoholic I've ever known.
Right. So I'm oh, wonderful. This is a fun group. I'm so glad we're listening to country music as a nation.
But you could also say Beyonce helped normalize country music as well. And I
guess you could
artists
say that.
like Shaboozey and stuff like that. And
I don't know who that is.
Oh my God, Shaboozey's pretty cool. He did it's called a bar song, I think.
Okay.
But it's a fun little poppy country.
Okay.
And then
you could also say Nelly.
Yeah, I feel
Nelly was an OG country man.
There's also there's a resurgence of white guy country.
There is.
That's I feel
it's weird.
Yeah, and I thought we were over this.
I'm how are you guys tailgating? You're from Staten Island. Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Where are you tailgating? Where are you parking? I don't understand.
I had no idea what a tailgate was before I left New York.
I tailgated one time in my life and it was at Citi Field.
But that doesn't count.
I know. Exactly.
That's tailgating.
Yeah, we had one of those pop-up grills. But those grills that you can only get 10 hot dogs grilled on it before you throw it out.
Yeah, before the whole thing melts.
Actually. So yeah.
It's very weird, but I can't wait to see the Super Bowl.
Same.
I will say I was not a big Kendrick fan growing up.
I forgot he was doing the halftime show.
And I have become a really big fan this year.
I love Kendrick Lamar.
And I really hope we don't find out some crazy shit about him because I feel I really enjoy his standing up for himself. It's really inspiring.
Yeah, no.
As somebody who struggles with confrontation, I'm wow, Short King's really making himself heard.
Yeah, you're also a short king. So I thought.
I'm I just live for the petty.
I can't believe.
In such a poetic way.
Yeah. No, really.
It's good petty.
Also, you sampled freestyle music and you're putting freestyle music back on the mid-app.
I feel he's really one of the only people who's doing something interesting.
He is. I enjoy his music a lot. Go Kendrick.
Meanwhile, you have Morgan Wallen.
Whalen?
I don't know.
Whalen? All right, I know you're kind of experimental in that would you say that you eat Slavic food ever?
Define Slavic, but
I feel you skew French.
I skew more French.
Yeah.
Than Slavic. If with my grandparents, probably more, and around the Jewish holidays, it'll be a little more pickled fish vibe.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, definitely more French on the parent side.
Okay. With that said, do you what is the nastiest canned food that you still enjoy?
I have not really experimented that much in the canned foods.
Did you went into the Patagonia Provisions?
No.
You never had canned fish? Fish?
No.
Wow.
I mean, I know I would like it.
You would
I love anchovies out of the can.
You would love.
I'm a big anchovy head. Love anything like I think it's really expensive and like
it is.
Yeah, I'm not really hosting any little like parties.
Right.
But I love like a jarred pickled fish.
So other than fish, like what other canned like nasty?
I mean, I think Spam is really good.
Okay, I've never tried Spam with pork,
but I'm not true.
But I would want to.
But it's not something I like prepare on my own at home.
Right.
It's pork.
Right. Right.
But I've had and it's delicious, and I think that there is it's a classist commentary to hate on canned and we've had this conversation,
right? Where
it's definitely rooted in racism and xenophobia.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people are like so anti this stuff, and I'm like,
right.
It's you're telling me Purdue frozen thing is gonna be any better?
Disgusting.
You know, like it's all processed.
Right. And it's just a method of preparation.
It's just a different conservation method that used to be much more prominent because we needed that.
Yeah. And like also grow up, because it's really about the application. Like you don't have to eat it directly out of the can.
Yeah, like I've had it,
however you prepare it.
I've had it straight out of the can. That's disgusting. Like when you're camping, like that is dog food. Mm-hmm. I've had it also sliced and grilled and fried. Delicious. Like
really, yes.
There's also different ways to prepare things.
Yes, for sure.
And it really annoyed me during the tin fish era when people were just like, this is fucking disgusting. And I'm like, no, you don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't yuck someone's yum.
But
mine,
yeah,
unfortunately, is corned beef hash.
I've never had, but I'm not opposed.
Oh, I'm so pissed you haven't had it. Why not?
I don't know.
Okay, it's like, again, like you mentioned dog food. It is extremely dog food vibe when you look at it. It looks a little bit vomitish because like there's literally like tiny cubed potatoes in it.
Yeah.
And they're tiny. Like it looks like dog food. I can't emphasize that enough. Yeah. However, if you spray a pan with a little bit of Pam, open or butter, whatever floats your boat, throw the whole can in, put it down, love her, leave her alone.
Yeah. Let it create a crust.
Put it out there, and it's so good.
I'm not opposed.
But nothing beats a fresh corned beef hash either.
I don't think I've had either.
If you ever find yourself on Long Island, I will give you the best suggestion ever for a restaurant.
And then this seems controversial, but I recently, before I learned to make chili myself recently, I was experimenting with canned chili.
How was that?
I got the Wendy's one.
Didn't know they made that. That seems like a vintage item.
Because Wendy's has chili. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I do. Remember people found a finger in it when we were kids?
And you can get the canned chili.
Never knew that existed.
And it's pretty good.
That's crazy.
It is a little dog foodish because you're like...
All canned beef, I feel like, has that dog food like smell.
And I love SpaghettiOs.
Okay, that is where you lose me, but I respect it.
It is a weird taste.
Yeah, it's not spaghetti.
No, and it's not tomato sauce.
Oh, correct.
It is a weird taste.
It's like between ketchup and marinara somewhere.
But it's like sometimes I get this weird craving, and it's nice to have like cans of random shit in the house.
It is in case there's like an apocalyptic scenario.
Or like you're sick and you're so tired.
You don't have the strength to cook.
You just want something really warm and brothy and like kind of whatever. That's great. Campbell's like noodles, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Also, I love like you can get like canned like clam chowder or lobster bisque. People are kind of grossed out about it. I think it's totally fine. Like
I've never had that, but I would fuck with that.
It's like fine. It's obviously, again, we'll never be like having a lobster bisque in Maine or whatever, which I've never had, but I would assume delicious. But it hits.
I would
Canning is just a preservation method. Everybody needs to fucking get over it.
Canned lump crab, amazing.
Never had, but I'm not opposed.
Really good.
I'm just like...
I use canned clams in my clam chowders.
I know, that's the next... I've just never cooked clams myself, but I would go
from canned. Already cooked.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, I've never done a recipe that...
So easy. Too easy. Such an amazing source of protein for so cheap.
A little clam linguine spaghetti.
Please, don't even get me started. Amazing.
Maybe that'll be...
After the election, when I was in a mood, that's what I made.
Maybe I'll make that next week.
Do you have breadcrumbs?
I will acquire some.
I think
currently have nothing, so I have to get everything.
But breadcrumbs are something, just FYI, I believe that you should just keep in your pantry. I'm sure you could always make them too.
My mom too.
Yeah, like you should just have. Because it just elevates it. Yeah. And they last a long time unless you're making like cutlets.
But they do. Yeah. I don't currently have any.
Yeah, that's a must buy. Last night I had a midnight snake.
Okay.
It was midnight, no joke, and I was in bed, and like I look over at my partner and I'm like, I kind of want a snack. He's like, me too, I'm starving. And I was like, maybe we should have a midnight snake. It's not dirty. It sounds a little dirty.
It sounds a little dirty.
It's not dirty at all, I guarantee it.
And no snakes were harmed.
No snakes on this plane. But a midnight snake is when you go for a midnight snack, and instead of having a snack, you decide to make a steak.
It's a midnight snake.
It's a midnight snake. Snakes on a plane.
And was it delicious?
It was actually not good. I had a skirt steak.
Yeah.
And like it was my first time making a skirt steak, but I followed a TikTok recipe to the T.
And it was not Teeny's.
No, does she have one?
No,
I was like, I need to find that.
But people were like, I followed your mac and cheese recipe to the T, and I still mess. And I'm like, no, you don't know how to cook.
No, you might have not followed it to a T, buddy.
You like actually didn't use any common sense,
right? Teeny is 10 out of 10.
And her recipes are extremely like
well thought out, like, detailed, well informed.
They make sense of the order of operations. I'm always like, oh, that's why you did it.
Yep.
I'm like, you're fucking smart.
She is smart.
Which is really the key to a recipe is the order of operations.
It is.
It's not just the proportions.
And she is the skinny chef that
we've all, yes, I will forever die on that hill. But yes, so you follow the recipe to the T.
Yeah, after watching it over and over and over again, like no joke, after I was like, where did I go wrong? I even like watched it back. Yeah. And what she drove home was, remember, the quality is really important. And I was like, maybe Aldi wasn't the place to acquire a skirt steak. So, yeah, it was very tough. Even when it was it was tough, but also undercooked.
What technique did you, that then is definitely the quality of the meat.
Has to be.
Because it needs to like, at some point be able to like be cut.
Right.
And not stringy, you know?
And it was both.
Yeah.
It couldn't be cut. It was stringy, undercooked, like almost raw on the center, but fully seared on both sides.
What technique did you use?
I just heated the pan up hot, added the oil, then added the steak, and it was supposed to be 3 minutes on each side.
Yeah.
I think it was too thick and just not good quality.
It might really be that.
Because honestly, like my skirt steak looked different than hers in the video even, you know? Yeah. So yeah, disappointing. But that was my midnight snake.
I'm really not a good steak preparer.
Maybe I need practice.
No, that is one thing. I feel like I am not an excellent cook, but I'm very good at certain things and like understanding like temperatures and like cooking methods. And steak, I feel like it requires such a hot pan initially,
right? That
makes it so smoky and like fire alarmy in your house.
That's what I'm telling you. My hair smells like steak.
I hate that. And then you need the quick hot sear, but then you need either some sort of like cast iron to put in the oven to like heat, like actually cook it a little bit. I'm not a steak person. Like I love steak.
Me too. And I just want to bring that feeling home.
I know. And I've tried during the pandemic, I really got into it because a lot of places were closed. And it's like, you know, when you're multiple people, you're like, okay, let's like, you know, do a little like steak and something for dinner. Like I would make that. I do know how to do a really good peppercorn sauce for the steak.
Love that. Sounds so good. Like pass me that recipe.
The rest I was good at because that you use the meat like drippings for. So the rest I was fine at, and like the potatoes were delicious, but the actual steak I'm not good at.
Yeah,
and you really need that. I was seeing you need like your pan to go up to like 400. Like
my pan was hot. Like I felt like I did everything.
I never get to that point. And you also need good butchers, which like you don't get easily. Like
this was like vac sealed.
Exactly.
You know, this was like
that's what I would get to, like the random like whatever.
It was $12. Let's put it that way.
But
so. I guess quality matters.
I guess.
Have you seen this show called The Floor?
No, what is it?
It's on Fox.
Okay.
But it's like one of those like game shows.
Yeah.
And it's Rob Lowe is the host.
Okay.
And basically it's 100 people are all standing on this tiled floor. Okay. And they shoot in the Netherlands, actually.
Cool.
Because I was like, are they casting? I want to be in this. And basically it randomizes and goes to one person. Okay. And they picked a topic that they came with.
Okay.
So one person's topic, failed politicians.
Cool.
And that's what their expertise is, right? So they choose. Then the randomizer, I think, to start it off, picks somebody else, and they go head to head.
Okay.
On the first person's topic. Yeah. They win that territory. It has to be next to them. So it's like one of the people around them that they battle. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It doesn't do randomizer. It goes to one of the people in your perimeter. And the goal is to take over the whole floor. So you obtain tiles, and then eventually, once yours is touching other people's, you can obtain their tiles. Yeah. So the goal is to do all of it, and you win a huge cash prize. And you're up against each other for seconds, right? So I think the clock starts at 30 seconds for each. And then something comes up on the screen, and you have to say what it is.
Got it.
All right. So it would be like beaches, or some person had weather, and it was showing different weather patterns, and you would just name what it is. Yeah. Rapid fire back and forth. And I'm kind of obsessed with the show.
That sounds really cool, because you also learn a lot about specific topics.
You do. And I feel like I've learned literally so much. And like it'll be like a pop culture topic. There was one that was like girl groups. There's just the periodic table.
Where do you watch this television show?
It's on Sling, but it's on Fox. You don't like Sling?
No, but I don't have either of those things.
I know. It sucks.
And I can't do more.
I know. I'm going to see what I can do. It's not my Sling account.
See what I can
It's not my Sling account.
I'll check. Maybe it's on something else too.
Or maybe, have you ever done a Sling free trial?
I can't. I'm like, literally.
Sling is a perfect network.
I've heard.
The Housewives. They've got it all.
I can't right now.
I get it. But yeah, highly recommend watching that if you have the opportunity.
I know. Now I'm hooked and I want to watch it. And you've like, it's like.
You know what's so funny?
What?
There's, you know how I'm on your Hulu account?
Yeah.
Under another person's name?
Yeah.
And that's like a pretty inactive account.
Yeah, what does he watch?
Well, nothing. I don't think he's on that. But the funniest thing is last night I went to go watch The Gladiator and it had already been watched.
Should I text him and be like, how was The Gladiator?
But I was like, he probably watched this maybe years ago. You know?
Oh.
Like, it had already been watched on that account.
Yes.
But who knows when? The movie came out so long ago.
Not the new.
No, I watched it so that I could have context for the new one.
I thought the new one was already up. And I was like, oh, funny.
But then I wonder, did he do the same thing?
Probably. Couldn't tell you. I'm not on Instagram.
Even so, imagine he's posting, like, watching The Gladiator. Oh, my God. As a kid, were you a Fig Newton girl?
100%.
I was a Fig Newton girl, too. For some reason, it didn't skeeve me. One day, it started to skeeve me.
Yeah.
I reached a certain point where I was like, Mom, don't buy those anymore.
You end up getting the Fig Newton ick.
You do.
Yeah.
It's not like a flavor thing. It's definitely a texture thing.
It's a texture thing.
Like once your
lack
fig...
thereof. Like, because it's all just
so crumbly.
It's just so like thick.
It's just like, I feel like you can't take a bite of it. Like you have to just throw the whole thing in your mouth and shoot it back.
It's what probably like, it's like a bad version of the marshmallow texture.
No. I wouldn't even equate it to that. I would say it's an extremely crumbly graham cracker.
Yeah. It's like a graham cracker that like became humid.
Yes, became humid. like was sitting in a damp basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true.
But I recently bought the strawberry ones and they were very good.
Really? Are they made with strawberries in the center or is it still fig?
No, it's just strawberry.
Oh, so there's no fig involved. No. I would like that.
Yeah. They used to have them when we were kids.
Despite the moist crumble.
But I feel like because the strawberry is a little mushier, there's more of a texture contrast.
More tolerable.
The fig is just, the filling is so similar to its outside.
Yeah.
That it's too uniform.
The fig is problematic to me because sometimes I can't explain this, but it feels like you're eating flesh off the bone.
It's also like a little grainy.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like I'm like chewing it and I'm like, it's kind of sandy. It's kind of like
it's sandy and meaty. It is both those things.
There's way too much happening. Like there's crunch.
But that is how
there's
a fig
crumble,
is as well.
That's true.
And so it like
figs are meaty.
I feel like it's why it doesn't skeeve me out as much because
you is know how where the fruit it came from.
Is. Yeah. You're not like, oh, why did they make a raspberry into this?
Right.
But you're like, oh, it's a fig cookie, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's the grainy, meaty cookie.
Grainy, meaty, gooey?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why the strawberry's cool, but it is a little grainy as well.
I mean, yeah, it's the same dough, right? If you want to call it a dough.
Yeah.
Like, it should be more like a cracker. I think they should lean into the crunch of it rather than the crumble.
If you get the fat-free ones, they're a little crunchier.
Are they?
Yeah.
Really?
They're even drier.
Are they sugar-free as well?
No.
Because it's like, why would they make a fat-free Fig Newton? Who's that helping? Is it just a few less calories?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's it helping? Almond moms.
But I'm like, that's still not like a good source of fuel.
But it's like, I guess, pectin type, fruit sugar.
Yeah.
So like, not processed sugar.
So like, there's like what, like collagen maybe?
No, like it's still bad. It's still high sugar, but I guess like from a more pure source, unclear.
Yeah, I'm like, don't know if that's where the fat comes from and all.
Oh no, unrelated to fat, but I'm like, if they were to make a sugar-free, I think it'd be hard because of like the naturally occurring sugar.
No sugar added.
No sugar added. Would be, that's what I get for the applesauce.
Oh, me too.
Because like they used to do a no sugar one.
Right.
It was sour.
I was just gonna say that.
And like I hate when my mom would like fuck up at the grocery store and get those by accident. Yes. And it was like, Mom,
like I'm not gonna eat this.
I don't want this.
You have to know I'm not gonna eat
and
that.
And she's like, but you're gonna. Like,
it's not gone yet. They're like, when it's gone, we'll revisit. Wow, exactly. Good to know we came from that same no waste scarcity mindset household.
But I'm like, it's fuck. And so now she saw me buying the no sugar added, and she's like, but you hated these, and I'm like, no, but they're different. No sugar added is not no sugar.
Correct. Okay.
So on that note, let us know how you feel about Fig Newtons.
Let us know. And is there a better alternative? Because they need a competitor in the space.
Yeah, who is making fig cookies?
I feel like it's got to be in some small European
But I don't have time for that.
Same. I guess Fig Newtons it is.
But yeah, let us know. And we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.